What do you like on the show, Vince, besides Roman, or is that the only thing? Or is there any characters that you like that aren't being used?
I like a lot of the character. Bro, I wish I was writing for a lot of the characters. I've always been a fan of Bray. Bro, I think I don't know what they're doing with Elias. Like this guy has freaking star written freaking all over. Bro, Otis could be a huge draw for them with that gimmick. There's a lot of people I like on the show, bro, and I say it all the time. I swear, I wish I was writing for these people. I mean,
Otis should show up to the show in a pickup in a truck, like a Mack truck, with a "Make America Great Again" hat on. Come out there, truckers for Trump.
Yeah,
with the belly hanging out and a Budweiser shirt and a MAGA hat,
a pig under his arm.
Well, you look at a guy like Elias. It's like, bro, the guy was on the shelf for the longest time because he was hurt. They bring him back, and in the first 2 out of the 3 weeks, they beat him.
It was his new album now.
And then he's got a brutal thing with Jeff Hardy. And, bro, we were with him, like, at the beginning before it was, like, fashionable to like him. Like, when we used to say, walk with Elias. You know, Disco would always put hashtag, I walk with Elias. And I would always put, I actually did walk with him in Nashville once. So they had something really good. They're really organic, really over. And it's done. It's almost like, remember, and they do this all the time. Remember how over Braun Strowman was when he was flipping over milk trucks and being a monster?
Yeah.
Then he decided to put on elf suits and a thong and like that and do silly shit with Alexa. And now he's the cool, real. It's like, dude, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Even with Bray, bro, like you can see like those fun houses used to mean something. You can see now that they're running out of ideas. And it's like every time they go to the funhouse, I'm like, oh, bro, don't kill this gimmick. Like,
I would say
Let me tell you why.
I would say that I miss the puppet Vince and the walrus Paulie that they had on before. Those.
Let me tell you this. Yeah. This is why they're going to blow with Bray, because he already blew with Bray.
Yeah.
When he was just Bray Wyatt and he was, they showed him out in the swamp woods in that little house.
That was a great character.
It's a great character, but bro, literally 6 months later, they were showing same footage from the same house in the rocking chair, and just like it just got old. And same thing with the Funhouse. It hasn't progressed anywhere. It's just I don't
know if you and Billy remember this, but there was a point where all he had to do, I think it was maybe beat Cena, and he would have just been like maybe the biggest guy in that company, and they didn't pull the trigger, bro. There was a time when they could have made Ryback real big, and they didn't. Yeah.
Konnan, they were a week away from making Elias a huge baby face. A week away. They came back the next week. He went right back to heel, and I was like, bro, it's like how can you, like, I don't even know how you could purposely do this. Like, what are you doing? Bro, what about freaking, you want to sit here and talk about Rusev?
Konnan, I told that story before. That result is a foundation of the whole reason the Dirty Sheets even exists and gets news, because that was when I was sitting there with my guy at the Sports Gambling podcast, and the wrestlers were talking about results, and he introduced everybody to the betting stuff when he told them, when they said that John Cena is winning, and the guy said, John Cena is winning tomorrow. He's a 4-1 underdog. Because Bray, in all logic, should have won that match. He was 1-7, which means that you put $700 on to win 100. That's how much of a favorite he was. And the writers were there, and they said, no, John Cena's winning tomorrow. And that guy, and then the guy who...
Bro, and this is what's so weird about it, and this is what probably pisses Vince off as a booker, and it does me, and I'm sure it does DI too. It's like, bro, you actually have a bona fide superstar. Cena doesn't need any more help. He's done, bro. He's overdone. You put so much shit on him. You know, he is who he is. You have a chance to make another guy. Why didn't you make him?
Yep.
Yeah, and then they ended up having 3 matches after that, and Cena ended up winning 2 of them. But by the time Bray even got there was no problem.
Bro, you got to give Bray credit. He got 2 characters mega over.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
In spite of their stupidity.
I think the difference is now is that this one is really like moving merch. So I think now The thing is that like I've spoken to Bray before, as I said on Vince's show, and he's at a point where he knows this character's. I don't know where he's at now, but a year ago, even when he was champion, he didn't like where the character was. He said it's not being done exactly as I want it to be. There's nuances there that there's at one point it was alluding to things like Illuminati and lizard people and all these things like that. And I know that the company didn't understand. There's some young writer in there who was bouncing off.
A mark for conspiracy theories and stuff.
Obviously. Well, there's obviously a young writer up there that was bouncing off Bray that comes up with this stuff that was all on board with where it was going. But then when it gets to the old wrestling bubble, there was a lack of understanding there. And I think it's now reached a point where Bray's resigned to the fact that my shit's selling. They're going to keep me in this position. I'm not going to try and push the Illuminati and the lizards and the conspiracies and all this kind of stuff where I want to go. Because Bray is so much more intelligent than every single person that writes for them. But it's not. But you're not going to be able to do what you need to do because. And maybe the problem isn't the fact that the writers don't get it. Maybe they think that the audience is stupid. Maybe they think it's this stupid Trump voting audience that they have that won't understand that story.
And not only that, Billy, I also think that if you have a guy that's as bright as you're saying that he is, and obviously is because he was able to get these characters over, let him write his own shit. Let him write his own and maybe you have a guy that's helping him. What's wrong with that? Or help him, or have him help the writer.
Right.
Well, you see that an Impact.
I mean,
bro,
it makes sense, right?
All the LAX was between me and
Vince
Sanjay.
McMahon was not in charge over there.